Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. TERRI WINFREE, and I'm the Executive Director for the Chicago Southland Chamber of Commerce. And I would like to welcome all of our guests to our presentation today. Today's event is our Government Affairs Council sponsors these different legislative panels each month, and we have a variety of topics that we cover. And today I'm extremely excited to be able to welcome you. Today our guests are Dr. CHERYL Green, who is the president of Governor State University, and Dr. June ZHAO, who's the Dean of College and Business at Governor State University. And I know that so many of you are probably graduates from Governor State University, and as I am 2 times. This is really nice for us. Dr. Green is, I'm still saying new because it hasn't quite been a year yet, and new to the university. So she's going to talk to us a little bit about engaging with the community and what it is for GSU and how GSU does interact with the community partners here in the Chicago Southland region. And then Dr. June ZHAO is going to talk about the Supply Chain Innovation Center and Business Incubator. That's very exciting. And they got some great funding and how that's going to come out and play and also help our region. So the way it's going to go today is I'm going to read bios, give you some bios, a little bit of background information of both of the presenters, and then Dr. Green will speak first, and then after that we'll circle back to Dr. ZHAO. In the meantime, please use the Q&A box, put some questions in. We'll address the questions at the end. If there's something that's very timely, we'll try to interact in between, but generally we'd like to keep the questions for the end, and we will address them if we can today. And if there's questions you have that require follow-up, those are definitely welcome as well, and we can follow up and send the information that's requested, because there's so much information about Governor State University, and so a lot of great questions might come up. So I'll go ahead and go with the bios, and there's lots more to their backgrounds, and they can expand on that with their presentations if they'd like. But Dr. Green brings more than 30 years of professional experience in higher education to her role as the president. So she is the leader of the Jaguar family, go Jaguars, a passionate educator, administrator. Green believes fiercely in the power of education and how it changes lives. Throughout her career, she has pioneered the innovations and academic enrichment opportunities and student success initiatives that promote increased retention. That's hugely important. Increased retention and graduation rates for first generation and non-traditional college students. Most recently, Dr. Green served as Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs at the University of Wisconsin in Oshkosh, as the interim chancellor for the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, and as Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs at Tennessee State University. Before her time at Tennessee State University, Dr. Green served at Chicago State University in a variety of administrative and academic roles. So she is returning to Chicago, which is great for us. She has broad fiscal experience and a large amount of community service work that spans across the United States. Dr. Green has a PhD and a master's degree in counseling psychology from Southern Illinois University. She obtained her bachelor's degree in psychology from Manchester College, which is now Manchester University in North Manchester, Indiana. She also holds the National Incident Management Certificate from the U.S. Federal Emergency Management Institute, which is hugely important for us to have that experience in the training in crisis intervention. She is also a recognized leader in grievance mediation and conflict resolution. So originally from Chicago, Illinois, Green is also the loving mother of 2 adult children who constantly keep her inspired to believe in the worth and potential of all human beings and to make a difference in the world. Happy Mother's Day, Dr. Green. And I will also read the bio for Dr. ZHAO, the Dean of College of Business at Governor State University. As the Dean of the University's College of Business, Dr. June ZHAO has provided strategic leadership for the college since November of 2016. One of her primary focuses as the Dean of the College of Business is to enhance the college's engagement with its students, with the alumni, and with the industry partners, and increase the college's impact in the regional's economic and workforce development. She's a member of the board of directors for OAI, a leading workforce development and nonprofit based in Chicago. She serves as a member of the advisory council for Harold Washington's Center for Business Excellence. Since the spring of 2019, she's led the university's efforts to establish a supply chain innovation center and business incubator. We refer to that as the SCICBI, which serves as GSU's Illinois Innovation Network Hub. She's the co-PI for this grant was $578,884 to scale this grant that they received from the Economic Development Administration in 2020. Congratulations on that grant. That's amazing. Dr. ZHAO earned her bachelor's degree in industrial engineering from Shanghai Jiaotong University and her master's and doctorate's degree in business administration at Southern Illinois University. So you can see we have two extremely esteemed colleagues here to present to us today. So I will now turn it over to you, Dr. Green.
Well, first of all, let me just start by saying thank you so very much for inviting me to speak to this group today. Dr. WINFREE is a comrade, a colleague, a pioneer in education, and a great partner to GSU. We're fortunate to have her on our staff. And I also want to acknowledge in a very formal way, Dr. ZHAO. The reason why my presidency is going as well as it is during this pandemic is because of the deans, and in particular, Dean ZHAO. Every time I look for opportunities to engage the business community on any level, I'm always floored by the amount of collaboration and partnerships that are already formed in the College of Business. So we are doing well to have her on the panel today with me, and I'm very proud of her involvement. Dr. WINFREE has mentioned that I have some strong roots in Illinois. I am so pleased to be back in the state of Illinois. I've been in the state of Michigan, Florida, Tennessee, and Wisconsin, and now I'm back home in Illinois, and it's a great time to be in the state of Illinois. I am a Chicago native. I don't know if people know that. I actually grew up in Chicago. I'm a proud graduate of Lindblom Technical High School, and every time I say that, I get a lot of people writing to me in the chats about the fact that they are too. And more importantly, I'm a proud leader of the Jaguar Nation. That's my most important allegiance at this time. So becoming a president during a pandemic is something that you can't imagine in your wildest dreams. But because Governor State was already doing the work, when I joined July 1, they made my transition smooth. And I'm grateful for that. But we have a lot of work to do. And as we prepare for what we hope to have as a post-pandemic reality, we are now in the very aggressive phases of planning a return to the campus. And faculty, staff, administrators are all working together to make sure that we offer the courses in the modality that makes the most amount of sense for the curriculum goals. And so faculty and chairs and deans are working together to look at that reality for fall 21. I can tell you we will have hybrid courses. We will have online only courses, and we will have in-person courses, and we have categories of classes that fit into each one of those buckets. And so, as all of the other public Illinois university presidents are doing, we're working to make sure that we schedule the appropriate courses. Some of the things that I've been doing besides navigating the pandemic are looking at what the university needs to take its level of operations and academic excellence to the next level. And so there are things that I've identified as important for our journey towards that end. One thing is GSU has recently been labeled as the only university in the state of Illinois that has 3 categories. One category is MSI, Minority Serving Institution, which means that over 50% of our students are students from ethnic identities for persons of color. We are also designated as an emerging Hispanic serving institution. And just a couple of months ago, we found out that we qualify also to have a third simultaneous distinction as a predominantly Black institution, because 40% of our student populations are African American. So if you are looking for a university that welcomes all identities, that welcomes all ethnic backgrounds, our Caucasian population is 30%. And so we have this unique existence in the Southland and in the state of Illinois that we're very proud of. We accept all students, we accept all ethnic identities and backgrounds and cultures. And our international student population is one of our largest growing enrollment populations in spite of the pandemic. So we're incredibly excited about that. As a matter of fact, we have invested time, money, and effort in developing a strategic enrollment plan that looks at what a 21st century GSU needs to include in terms of its academic programs, its services, its outreach, and its populations that it aggressively targets. And we will be unveiling that sometime in late June to early August. And we've been working for over a year towards that goal. And it's going to position us again to continue to recruit students who belong, students who can achieve, and students who can help us define who GSU is for the 21st century. Another thing that I have committed to doing because of our uniqueness is creating a position called Chief Diversity Officer. We have just entered into the final phases of that search, and we hope to make some announcements in the very near future. This will be a cabinet level position, and this person will not just work with students, they will work with faculty and staff. They will have a broad reach. We have a variety of committees and equity projects that we're working on so that we engage all of the stakeholders at GSU. Next, I want to talk about my work on the equity work group. There was a statewide task force that was put together that was led by President Scott at Chicago State and included almost all of the university presidents of Illinois, as well as community and business leaders from Hyatt Corporation, from the Urban League, so on and so forth. And we worked for over 6 months to come up with a plan to ensure that students are able to close the achievement gap in terms of degree completion and progression into majors and access into our colleges and universities. And I'm very proud of that work. Similarly, Governor State University was approached by Congressman Danny Davis and Congressman Robin Kelly about becoming the home site of the Illinois Black Hall of Fame. And we were incredibly excited about being asked, and we have been working for months to identify the honorees, the awards, and we will be having a launch of that event on May 25th. And we had a press release, including the first honoree, Timiel Black, the noted historian on Illinois, who has been around for every major event in the state of Illinois, who happens to be 102 years old and is bright and engaged and committed to the state of Illinois' initiatives as anybody you could meet. The other thing I want to mention is my Social Justice Institute. Governor State University has an organization of faculty who have been serving and working on issues around policy studies, political science, and social justice. And needless to say, our society has had an ever-increasing lens that focuses on those issues on a national landscape. And given the identities and ethnic backgrounds of our students, faculty, and staff, it makes sense for our curriculum to include a focus on how we look at social justice in a variety of academic domains. And I have a vision for expanding our Social Justice Institute to include national speakers, research symposiums, theatrical performances, by the way, which they're already doing, postdoctoral students, a law clinic that's free for our students, interns who serve in that capacity, which we already have. And for any member of the listening audience today, I'm looking for funding. So if you have money from your agency or can be an advocate for us at Governor State, call me, email me, IM me, however you need to reach me. I'm very excited about that. And I think that's exactly what we need to do given the history of Governor State University and its founding. Last year, we celebrated our 50th anniversary. And I was not present, but I am told that it was quite a momentous occasion that went on for a whole year. And we raised money and we acknowledged the historical significance of that. And we have much to be proud of as we prepare for the next 50 years at Governor State University. The last thing I want to share is that one of the things that I have done throughout my career is make sure that I am engaged, involved, and committed to the community. Because I understand in a very concrete way that the university cannot succeed without university partners, and university partners cannot thrive without a commitment and service by the university. So we have a mutually beneficial relationship that we have to cultivate and foster and grow on a greater level. And so I am now on the Southland Development Authority Board. I'm on the Will County Center Economic Development Board. I'm on the Will County Community Foundation Advisory Board, which you'll hear more about from Dean ZHAO. And I have been asked to serve on the Southland Convention and Viewers Bureau Board, but I chose to very smartly choose Lana Rogosaya, who is the director of the CPA, to serve on that board, because when it comes to tourism and events, there's no one doing more on our campus than her. And I'm very proud of what the CPA is doing. And I hope to share more with you about that. I'm also a member of the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, which is a group of people who are getting together to plan what Chicago will be doing for the next 50 years. And I particularly served on the workforce working group. And I'm a frequent visitor to the South Suburban mayors and managers, which I enjoy because all of the South Suburban mayors get together to talk about common issues, common goals, and common strategies. And it's highly informative. And they have, the capacity to allow guests to come. Last but not least, the South Metropolitan Higher Ed Consortium, which is commonly referred to as SHMEC, which is an organization that is 40 years old. And it includes the community colleges, the universities, public and private, in the Southland. Governor State is the only public university in the Southland. And so we have a vested interest in working with our colleagues in those institutions towards how we can meet the needs of students, adults, employees, and everybody else who needs either a certificate or a specialization of a skill or a 2-year degree or a 4-year degree. We have to come together to meet those needs. And last but not least, I'm a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. And I say that not to start a Greek war, but to let you know that my commitment to the community is professional and personal. So that is a lot of what I wanted to share with you about GSU. There's so much happening at the university in terms of what we have scheduled for upcoming events. And can I take a minute or two to announce that, Dr. WINFREE? First of all, it has not been publicly released yet, but my formal ordination into the role of president will occur on September 17th. So you are getting this news first. And I'm excited about that. I tried to pick a time when the faculty would be around and when most of the other universities, because this is an academic ceremony, would be able to participate, as well as business and community leaders. Our sculpture Wine and Dine, which is a signature event at GSU, will take place September 11th. Mark your calendars. And Saturday, June 5th, we're having the Orbit Davis Jazz Philharmonic. Everybody knows about the jazz performances and events that GSU sponsors. And prior to me coming to the campus as the president, I heard about those performances, and people cannot wait until we start launching them again. So this is just a, smattering of what we're doing at the new university in terms of events, what I'm doing in terms of my mission and my vision, and what the university has historically already been providing to the community. And I'm going to segue, Dr. ZHAO, by saying each of our colleges has an advisory board that has a stellar list of businesses and community leaders. And when I saw the roster for the College of Business, as well as some of our other colleges, I was totally impressed and knew that my work had already been done. And with that, I'll stop talking.
That's a perfect segue. Thank you very much. And now there are some questions. We'll circle back to those at the end.
Okay.
Dr. ZHAO, I believe she's going to share her screen with us and go through her presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. WINFREE, and also thank you so much, Dr. Green. Thank you for the vision you shared and all the exciting initiatives that we are working on, and looking forward to be part of those programs. As Dr. Green and Dr. WINFREE mentioned in their introduction, I'm here to talk to you, share with you about an exciting program that we are working on at the College of Business at Governor State University, which is the Supply Chain Innovation Center and Business Incubator, or SCIBI or SHIBI. We couldn't come to agreement of what the acronym would sound like because it's SCICBI. This is part of a larger network, which I will share with you a little bit background in just a minute. As you can see in this logo, SCIBI is a part of GSU, of course, but it's also a member of a statewide network called Illinois Innovation Network. And this is a map of Illinois, which shows all the 16 current hubs that are part of this statewide consortium. It is a system of connected university, community, industry-based hubs throughout the state, led by the University of Illinois system that work together to drive innovation, workforce, and economic development. So those are the three main goals of this network across Illinois. Hubs are expected to utilize their faculty resources, research, public and private partnership, entrepreneurship, and workforce training programs to promote economic growth in their service region and also throughout the state. And collaboration, sharing of resources across the hubs within this network is strongly encouraged. There was a $500 million capital funds that was appropriated from the Build Illinois Bond Fund to the Capital Development Board last year that the governor approved for the entire system. It is a lot of money, but half of it will actually go to University of Illinois Discovery Partners Institute, or DPI, which you might have heard of, that will be built in the downtown Chicago. And the other half will be allocated to the other 15 hubs, which each is led by a public university in the state. There is a council that is serving as its governing body. As I mentioned earlier, it's led by the University of Illinois System's VP of Economic Development and Investment Office with representation from each hub. GSU's representative on the council is Dr. Beth Cada, our provost and vice president of academic affairs. So our choice, because of our location, and as you know, that Chicago Southland has emerged as a growing hub for supply chain and logistic sector, or sometimes it's called transportation, distribution, and logistics, or TDL sector, which has become a huge source engine of economic and job growth for our area. We chose to establish the Supply Chain Innovation Center and Business Incubator as GSU's IIN hub. Our mission is to serve as accelerator for innovation, economic and workforce development in Chicago Southland through our services to business and startups in supply chain, logistics, and related sectors. So manufacturing companies are also our target audience. Our services include consulting, especially technology and business solution consulting, professional certification preparation programs in supply chain management. We've collaborated with several premium professional organizations, associations, national organizations that are known for certification in supply chain and logistics field. And we've offered certification training programs for individuals to prepare for those top certification in their field. This include Council for Supply Chain Management Professional CSSC Pro certificates, Association for Supply Chain Management, or formerly known as EPICS, Certified Logistics and Transportation Distribution Certificate, and Six Sigma certificates in both Green Belt and Black Belt. And we're also planning to use a vacant building in on our campus that will be the future home of SciBuy, to provide collaborative spaces for entrepreneurs and startups to develop their innovative ideas, to network with like-minded individuals, and access to mentorship and consulting provided by our faculty and other individuals in our network. And also through this collaboration to provide internship and experiential learning, project-based learning for our students. So some of our clients might have a project for our students to help them, solve problems. So those are great, mutually beneficial learning opportunities for our students. So this is a space that will be the future home of SciBuy. This is a standalone building on our campus called Antec House. It's next to the old barn, which burned down several years ago. Many of you probably have driven past this building, and it's very easy access, and it's already built out inside. So it was a grand office several years ago, and it has nicely built out offices, conference room, break rooms. And everything is, very still in very good condition. But all we need to do is to do some maintenance project to make it really ready for use by the members and by the public. So what we have, Dr. WINFREE mentioned several funding that we've received to help us launch this center fully. The first part is a 400,000 capital funds that we'll be receiving from the state for the minor renovation maintenance project that we plan to do for Antec House. The project will be managed by the Capital Development Board, which is also managing all the roads and bridges for the state. So there's some slight delay, but we hope to start the project in fall of 2021 for the center to be fully open in early spring 2020, the latest. Last October, we also received almost $600,000 from the Economic Development Administration in their Build to Scale grant to support our operations over 3 years. So those funds will be used to purchase databases, software, equipment, where our clients will be having access to computers, printers, and other equipments in the conference room, as well as an expert in residence who will be providing consulting, again, mentorship assistance to our members and clients. We also received $50,000 from the Southland Economic Transformation Grant, which is managed by the SSMMA, to support certification training I mentioned earlier. So as you can see, we received about 1 million from those 3 sources. And interestingly, they represent federal, state, and regional support. So we can say that, our initiative, our program really had a broad-based support from our stakeholders. Now, this hub is part of our college, but it has its own director and it has its own advisory board. You heard Dr. Green talked about our colleges have advisory board. Our college actually has 2 advisory boards. One is for the college, the other one is for the center. So as you can see, this small but very, very active, very powerful board has broad representation from the industry, from the supply chain logistics sector, Our board chair is a senior manager from Amazon, who is also a proud alum of our business administration program. We also have representation from the workforce development community, economic development community. John Gruling, who is the president and CEO of Will County Center for Economic Development, is on our board. And we also have several representatives from manufacturing sector and also business development sector. We hired a full-time director last August, Reggie Greenwood. Many of you know him. And we also have assistant, graduate assistant who will support the center's daily operations. So we've had a, very good governance and management structure to support the center as it really start to offer its services. But we cannot do all what we plan to do alone. We have to build on our existing and expanding partnerships with businesses and other nonprofits in the region. You can see some of those listed here. We are also working with, of course, private sector partners, major employers such as Amazon, JB Hunt, CN, Dot Foods, and many more to really develop this network that will be contributing to the, again, workforce and economic development in the region through our services. I wanted to spend a few minutes on what we are working with Amazon right now. As you know, this is there's a major investment made by Amazon in our region. This year alone, they are planning to open 3 fulfillment centers or distribution centers in our neighborhood. One is in University Park. I believe that one's slated to open in May. One in Matson and one in Markham. Those are ready to open in October, just in time for the holiday season. Together, between those 3 centers, they plan to hire about 3,000 full-time employees. It is a great opportunity for us, of course, to offer entry-level training in warehouse management, in supply chain management, and we do have certificate programs for those level. And our director has met with Amazon's national team and also their regional team to talk about how GSU and our Supply Chain Innovation Center can be part of their planning and preparation as they bring in so many new employees on board. We could be part of their orientation training, and we're also talking about other career choice program partnership for our students and for their employees. We are collaborating with Amazon and OAI and CSCDC to host a couple of virtual hiring events for people who are interested in those positions. And last but not least, Dr. Green actually is a member of the Will County Advisory Board that will oversee a $500,000 gift that Amazon has donated to that county to promote workforce development. So those are what we are planning to do, and many of them, those projects are already going on. Since last October, we've already trained about 40 people, who many of them went on to test for those certificates, earn the certificates. Some of those are middle managers at large corporations. Others are entry-level, underemployed or individuals. So our services really are from beginning to medium to advanced level, spanning over all those different preparation and readiness levels. So we are looking forward to, if you have employees that you wanted to send, to take those certification training, or if you have business problems that you're looking for, our faculty to work with you to develop solutions, we're here for you. And please reach out to me or Reggie for assistance. I will take a couple more minutes to talk about academic programs that we have to offer at our college, as Dr. Green mentioned in her remarks. And I will also share with you a little bit about what our extended learning, School of Extended Learning offers as non-credit bearing courses through their services. As you know, our college is accredited by the AACSB, which is the top accreditation for business schools around the world. Only less than 5% of the business schools around the world has this distinctive recognition. We offer 5 undergraduate programs: BS in Accounting, BA in Business Administration, which is our largest program, has 7 concentrations. We have a BA in Economics program, and 2 programs that are designed specifically for students who have Associate of Applied Science degrees from community colleges. So BA in Business and Applied Science and BA in Manufacturing Management are designed for those students in particular. And we have 4 graduate programs, MS in Accounting, MBA, which has a supply chain management specialization, which is fully online. That is very convenient for those individuals, professionals who have busy, jobs and life obligations and cannot come to campus to take courses in person. We also had a new degree, master's degree in human resource management that we launched fall of 2019, and a new MS in business analytics degree that we launched last fall. So those are, our graduate programs. And again, many of our alums are very actively engaged in the Southland. Actually, I believe the current president of the board for the chamber, Mr. Craig Schmidt, is our proud alum of our MBA program. And I'm sure there are many more in your membership. Last, I just want to share with you some professional development and continuing education programs that are offered by our School of Extended Learning. They have courses that, again, lead to professional certifications. We actually collaborate with them in recruiting students into those programs. Project Management, PMP, Lean Six Sigma, the several supply chain certificate I mentioned earlier, and ISTO, which is a computer IT certificate. They also provide test preparations, GRE, LSAT, for those individuals who plan to go on, to the next step in their academic journey. Lifelong learning for adults 55 and over and older. They have 5-day programs. Those people will come for a day and they have classes, and then they socialize afterwards. And English language learning, and teacher training, and several military connected student services, and as well as business training and employee engagement programs. So if you want more information, Amy Barsha, who is our executive director for the center, for the school, will be happy to provide more detailed information. So those are some of my what I would like to share with you. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free to post in the Q&A. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So that's, a lot of information, and there is even so much more, because what we have here is a little bit of an overview from the high level of the business, the College of Business, but keep in mind there's also the College of Health and Human Services, the College of Arts and Sciences, and the College of Education, and they have doctoral programs. So it's truly, and I know there's always summertime programs that involve youth and children, and they have the Children's Learning Center there on campus. So there's just so much and so many opportunities. And I see a finger there. Yes.
I just have to give one quick announcement, since we took the time to walk through academic programs and degrees offered, and you are mentioning the 5 doctorates. Governor State University this semester just got approval from the Higher Learning Commission to offer its first PhD.
Yay.
So we now have 4 EDDs and 1 PhD, and the PhD is in counselor ed and supervision. So we're very excited about there are schools twice our size that don't have 5 doctoral programs. And so I'm very excited about where Governor State is headed academically.
That's amazing. Truly, Governor State University really is, it has something for everyone. And having lived here all my life, I've watched it. And so you mentioned that anniversary, you know, I was young then, but I've seen it, and I've seen it grow. And it is just actually amazing to have such a partner that's right here in our backyard. And I would be remiss if I didn't announce, before going to some of these questions, about the recent news that's been all over with you talked about the Convention and Visitors Bureau. I have served on that board for about 20 years, and boy, they've been the biggest cheerleader, I think, aside from a few of us, for the NATE. So would you like to say anything about the NATE?
Yes, actually, as of Friday, May 7th at 11 a.m., Governor State University was notified and got permission to release publicly that Governor State University Nathan Manilow Outdoor Sculpture Park has been voted #1 in the nation.
Yay! That's awesome.
By a USA Today poll on the Reader's Traveler's Guide, and we are terribly excited. And so if you follow the university, or if you follow me, or if you're connected to me on social media, you will see a lot of posts about our joy and pride for being the #1 outdoor sculpture park in the nation. Thank you.
Yeah, that is amazing. And the competition, you know, I went on and looked at that website. It is truly all over the United States. There were wonderful, beautiful exhibits, but the NATE came in #1. So that is really amazing for the whole entire Chicago Southland. I've attended the events there, and I look forward to the one. So you had those events September 11th, June 5th. Which one was the NATE?
Which one was the name? The sculpture Wine and Dine is September 11th.
September 11th. That is an amazing event. I've been to that in the past, and you can literally take the tour and go around and see all those sculptures. So it's pretty amazing. So, okay. And there was a question, you just talked about the different doctoral programs. There is a question that was in the Q&A box about what about a law school at GSU? I know you talked about law.
I don't know who asked that question, but when I got to Governor State, that was one of the questions I had. Why don't we have a law school? So I've only been in the role less than a year. And so to all good things, there is timing. Let me say that. But I was recently approached by one of the Illinois public universities to have a meeting about designing a 3+3 program at Governor State University, whereby a student would start at Governor State University working on their bachelor's degree and complete it in 3 years, not 4, not 5, not 6, and not 7, but 3 years, and then be guaranteed admission into law school and complete the law degree, and in 6 years have a BA and a JD. So we are meeting with the dean of that law school to work that out. Obviously, that's an economic win-win for that university, our university, and the student, but we are trying to finalize the detail. The provost, by the way, is working to make sure we have all the right conversations on this project because it's an academic degree. And I'm excited about it. And I hope that we can finalize the details because I think there would be a tremendous gain for the GSU community. And for, I don't want to say who it is until the details are finalized.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. Partnerships like that are what we need to do to be creative and to make things work. And I know that GSU has several partners with community colleges for the dual degree program, where the students start at the community college, get their associate's degree. There are so many statistics that will prove that by having that credential first, that they will be successful in obtaining their second degree. And so I've watched so many students from all of the community colleges, not only just in the region, but really in Illinois, that then transitioned into Governor State University and were able to complete. And many of them go on after that as well. So that's really a wonderful opportunity. So another thing you mentioned, and you said the CPA. CPA is known as the Center for Performing Arts. So, I think that what I saw was an amazing ability to not cancel during COVID. I mean, they still did some fabulous things. Can you elaborate a little bit on any of those programs and what they did to still be able to continue on and deliver high quality programs during COVID?
Well, actually, I could talk for an hour about the CPA, but I'll try to condense that into 2 or 3 minutes so that I have plenty of time for whatever other questions or comments your guests have. But the CPA just celebrated its 25th year anniversary in October. So for 25 years, we have been serving the community in terms of the performing arts. And it has been an incredible ride. In the 25-year history, we have served over 1.5 million individuals in the Chicago Southland and beyond. We have introduced the arts to over 300,000 children in the form of live educational and cultural events and field trips from local schools. And we even supply materials to teachers to promote education on the performing arts. And so we have been doing an incredible job. We have welcomed and supported over 8,000 artists and companies, and we have engaged over 20,000 GSU students in cultural experiences around the CPA. So yes, we did have to restrict some performances because they could not be live audiences, but we continue to record and broadcast some theatrical performances this fall, and we will continue to do so next fall. And I would invite the listeners to go to our website because there's so much to share about what is happening at the CPA in the fall. We're doing the Aladdin Theater Summer Camp in June. So if your children or children you know of want to participate, we have an outdoor family reunion that's happening also in July on the 14th. And of course, I've already mentioned the Orbit Davis Jazz event that will be happening. And during Christmas, we're having a light wire theater that was featured on NBC's America's Got Talent. And by the way, I do watch that. So the CPA is continuing to be cutting edge in terms of providing programming and events and performances that engage the entire community.
That's great. That is very good. So many wonderful things. We do have a couple other questions, and I would encourage others, if you have them, to put them in there quickly. We have about 5 minutes remaining. So a question from Carol Williams: now that there will be a business incubator, will you offer a MBA specialization in entrepreneurship?
Great question. Actually, we do have entrepreneurship concentration at our undergraduate level. So that is one of the 7 concentrations of our business administration program. our MBA currently has 4 specializations: business analytics, leadership, finance, and supply chain management, which was actually consolidated from 8 several years ago under the advisement of AACSB, because our MBA program is not large enough to, justify so many concentrations or specializations. But we've been growing in the past few years, so that may be something we would consider to revisit. But we do have a entrepreneurship, a concentration at an undergraduate level. I do see another question about somebody just finished a BA, but not ready for master. I don't know if that this person area is in business, but there are certificate programs that you could take that maybe, it doesn't require 30 credit hours as a master's program does. Sometimes, 12 hours, which is 4 courses, as a way to kind of, just to take the next step. And many of our graduate programs do accept the credit hours within the certificate. So it's kind of a bridge to your graduate program if after those, several courses you find, oh, this may be something I wanted to continue. Or it is as a standalone certificate, it can help you professionally to advance in your organization or in your field. So that may be an option if you're not fully ready to, start a master's program right after earning your bachelor's. A certificate program might be an option. That would be something I would recommend.
Let me just add that Governor State used to have a small business development center.
Yes.
And I'm told that we made a decision financially to not continue it because of the budget impasse that happened about 5 years ago in the state. When we were looking at, okay, well, how can we keep our doors open? How can we continue to provide excellent academic service? What is it that we can, how can we save money? I actually would love to see that center come back, but I don't want to put Dean ZHAO on the spot. And that decision would be made by the academic leaders at the university because it's a program issue. It's also a funding priority issue. And we have to constantly monitor and manage our resources. And with the pandemic, this may not be the time to do that. So I would love to see us re-examine that operation of that center and potentially bring it back. So.
There was a question that was put in the, it was about when we had in the chat box, I'm sorry, rather than in the Q&A, but when you mentioned about partnering with a potential law school for that 3+3, what was the name of the law school, or can you
I did not say that.
Okay, all right, so that's fine, and maybe you're not ready to share it yet. I just, okay.
A trust and believe it is a prominent law school.
All right. Okay, and then, okay, I think someone, I'm not following this one here, it says criminal justice, and then I was thinking paralegal. Do you have that?
I think that's the individual who was asking about after earning a BA, but not ready to continue with a master's degree. I don't know if we have paralegal. I don't think so, but we can.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I know we have criminal justice, but I don't
Right.
think we have paralegal.
Yeah, you do. I teach criminal justice. I know you have that. So, okay, well, you've really answered a lot of questions. It's really great. One last thing that I would like to mention, because I think people in our audience would benefit from knowing this. We, the Chicago Southland Chamber, have benefited from this, working with Dr. Tracy Jones in the program that you have there for internships. So we've been able to obtain at the Chamber an intern for the last 2 semesters, and it's a fabulous opportunity where those students get real life experience And in some cases, they're even paid internships, but great opportunities. And I could share that information if anybody is interested. So any last comments before I give? I've got a few announcements I'd like to make on behalf of the chamber. Any last comments from our panelists?
Just want to say thank you. It is a pleasure to come and talk about the great things at Governor State University and to constantly be present in the community and make sure that we're continuing to maintain and grow those partnerships because they're vital to our mission and to our success with our students. And so I want to thank you, Dr. WINFREE.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
In the last chat box, of course, Michelle Sabasco, who's ever present everywhere. She said, hi, yes, we do have a paralegal.
Oh,
And the GSU Center for Extended Learning. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
And she put her contact in there, so the person who asked about that can certainly read that. So thank you all. And so I want to thank the panelists. I want to thank our committee. Again, I mentioned this is our government affairs has a standing committee, and they are the ones that do the work behind the scenes and planning these panels. So thanks to those members. And then also we have some board members that called in today and logged in to hear the presentation. So I want to thank Benita Parker from ComEd, Ron Gardiner from the village of Glenwood. He's the mayor in Glenwood. Lauren Healy, very own from Governor State, who represents Governor State on our board. And then Tom Fagan from Azavar was also on, and he is our incoming. Dr. ZHAO mentioned Craig Schmidt, who was he's our past chairman.
Okay.
The GSU alum and the Hall of Fame member.
Yes.
With that business. And then also we have Connie Sims as our current president, and Ron will be the incoming, or chairman, I should say.